Hey everybody, and welcome to this special on Chiron entering retrograde in Pisces on the 23rd of July this year. Yeah, that's the one. When Chiron enters retrograde, it makes a trine to Mercury and a semi-square to Saturn, so I'm going to talk all about that in a while. So yeah, when Chiron enters retrograde, the best way to brace yourself for this celestial journey, which is filled with introspection and healing vibes, calling for us to go within if you make the choice to. Some of you may be forced to by the external actions of others or external events in general. So yeah, when Chiron, the wounded healer, goes retrograde, it's like hitting the rewind button on your spiritual growth and or emotional, psychological sort of like growth. Yeah. So this cosmic event is prompting us to dive deep into our emotional wounds and think about our old patterns. Where did they come from? Like if you've got a over talking habit like me, why do you do it? Or overthinking habit, or just anything that you do, like if you're defensive, if you avoid falling in love or exploring your own feelings, if you don't like being alone, if you comfort eat, if you undereat. So if I've triggered anyone here, just looking at those triggers that we've all have and trying to get to the root of why we have them, because Chiron in astrology, we have to heal our Chiron wounds along with our Pluto ones as well, before we can kind of move on forward into the Neptunian Pisces sort of waters. So yeah, so in poetic Pisces, Chiron retrograde brings forward a period of profound inner work if we are open to it. It's an opportunity to confront unresolved issues and release any lingering pain and trauma. So Pisces, being a water sign, amplifies the emotional depth of this retrograde, urging us to face our shadows and seek healing with compassion and gentleness. Chiron's retrograde, we find ourselves revisiting our past experience, as I said, or relationships. For some of you, with Venus being in retrograde as well and going in today as well, old relationships may come to the forefront of your mind, or old possessions may come back into your life, or you may think about an old quote, an old song you used to listen to, an old place you used to visit and stuff like that as well. And any sort of like experiences that have kind of left their mark on your soul can come to the forefront of your mind right now. So this is not a time to wallow in self-pity, but rather an invitation to gather the wisdom gained from these old wounds and use them as fuel, for your personal growth. As Chiron retraces its steps through Pisces, pay attention to any, recurring themes or patterns that emerge and that hold you back. And this is the key to unlocking deep-seated healing and transformation. If you feel like you need it, this is a good time to, start or continue therapy or self-help and healing, do self-reflection, or, explore different healing things like yoga, tai chi, emotional freedom technique, NLP, but in a safe way. So yeah, there's lots of different alternative healing methods you can think of, herbal medicine, or think of whatever, acupuncture, energy medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, meditation, reflexology, Qigong, pranayama, breathing, hypnosis and stuff like that. So yeah, do your research and stuff, but any technique that gets you in touch with your inner world right now and helps you heal would be good for you to do, as well as keeping it logical as well. So ultimately, as I said earlier, in astrology, Chiron is known as the wounded healer, and I see myself as one of those. And I think when you've been through trauma and stuff like I have, and so you have, and a lot of us have, then we can use our wounds to help heal others. And also, this is what this calling of Chiron in retrograde, especially in Pisces, is asking us to tap into our own healing, connect with our higher power, whether you call that force God, Shiva, whatever the higher power is to you, connecting with that and with your higher self as well. And it kind of reminds us, this retrograde of Chiron, that true healing comes from within, and that by acknowledging our vulnerabilities we can find strength and resilience. And I'm great believer in that. So yeah, as I said, when Chiron goes into retrograde this year, it makes a trine to Mercury. So wounds with your communication may come up in chances and communication, so that you may communicate more with other people and express yourself more in talkative ways, or whether it be through, I don't know, vlogging, blogging, writing online, making videos, making podcasts and stuff like that. Some of you, even if you're not normally the talkative type, may feel more talkative, and even if you are like me, you may talk even more, so hey ho. So yeah, there can be a lot of mental activity at this time. You may seek out research, as I said. You may feel like you just want to know everything and get lots of knowledge, but just be careful there that you don't over stimulate yourself and fall down rabbit holes. Know that any healer you go to, from an astrologer to someone you can help with yoga, tai chi, meditation, or even a therapist, is that ultimately they should be leading you to make your own decisions and feel comfortable in your own skin and not create some sort of dependency on them. So this trine to Mercury can make us more concise and effective in our articulation, in the way that we say things, and this can help us get our point across more quickly, which is going to be handy for me. So yeah, also Saturn makes a semi-square to Chiron, so these kind of Chirons, semi-square to Saturn and trine to Mercury is flavouring the whole period. So this semi-square will test our boundaries over the next 3 to 4 months while Chiron's in retrograde, and it can be a challenging time. Saturn is the planet of discipline, structure and limitations, so themes of restriction, boundaries and limitations can come up. Just be patient, gentle with yourself, especially if someone or something you're dependent on doesn't come through. Just try and be gentle, nurture yourself, and just think maybe next time, and just try a different way. Sometimes things don't come our way because we have to try and get them in a different way, or it just simply weren't meant for us and something bigger and better is coming along. So yeah, although you may feel a sense of frustration or tension as you navigate any challenges that come up, it's an opportunity to learn and grow and be more patient and persistent and disciplined to overcome any obstacles and keep moving forward. So overall, Saturn semi-square to Chiron is a reminder that growth often requires us to face challenges, especially the things that we don't want to talk about, the traumas, and face them and heal them and push past our limitations. So Chiron in Pisces in retrograde is going to intensify our emotions, especially those connected with communication and discipline, because we've got Saturn and Mercury in the midst, as well as spirituality as well. We will be forced to confront our innermost feelings and fears, but ultimately this can be a potent time for emotional healing and self-reflection, but it may also require you to just be patient right now, and also to keep on going when times kind of get hard and you feel like giving up because you may be tested. So ultimately, the trine to Mercury can increase our communication and help us express our feelings, while the semi-square to Saturn can create tension and challenges in our responsibilities and limitations. People may put demand on our time, or our emotions may put demand on our time, and we may not like it. So as I said, just be gentle with yourself. Take this time to reflect on your past trauma and examine how any of your past is affecting you in the present, and by doing so you can use this as an opportunity to grow and transform and move towards a more balanced and healthy state of being. So in terms of the karmic and past life meaning, it encourages us, as I said, to dive deep, confront our unresolved traumas or spiritual debts carried over from past life. So a lot of past life things can come up now for some of you as well. This acts as a sort of catalyst for spiritual growth, offering the chance to reconcile and release karmic imbalances. So it's a really good energy to just reflect, as I said, and make a plan to move forward so you can live your best life. So yeah, by exploring your sadder aspects, the trait about yourself that you don't like, or the things you don't accept about yourself, you can unlock deeper levels of compassion, healing and spiritual understanding for yourself and also for others as well. And any past life memories or dreams that resurface right now can provide invaluable sort of insights into the lessons and patterns that continue to shape your reality and the ones that you need to change. So sometimes when we've been hurt, we may feel like we're always going to be hurt, and we carry that into every interaction we have, and we put our defences up, and this can stop us from seeing the good. Sometimes it's good to enjoy the moment and try and expect the best, not to ignore red flags. Never do that, you know what I'm like. But I'm big on red flags, just in case this is the first time you are listening to me. But ultimately, try and take a person on their own actions, not on the actions of other people who may have hurt you before, and take this time to release any emotional, psychological, spiritual wounds that have been holding you back, and engage in meditation or dream analysis or energy healing or anything that can help you, unravel and understand complex karmic ties. Because as I said, some of you may have to revisit past friends or past lovers, or you may find an old letter or email or voice note from a friend, or go through your own texts and be taken back to your past as well. So in terms of hookup relationships and committed relationships, Chiron in retrograde in Pisces can be a potent teacher right now, because it's encouraging us to explore those deeper emotional wounds and bring healing to our forms of partnerships right now. So asking us to confront lingering traumas and insecurities that may affect our ability to fully connect with the people we love, with our friends, with ourselves and stuff. So just thinking about those thought patterns, those behaviour patterns that stop you from having those deeper connections. It encourages us to be more open in our communication and be more vulnerable as well, and to ultimately develop a deeper level of trust and intimacy with ourselves and others. Now, this going within is not going to be easy, but it is essential for our personal growth and in building a strong foundation in our relationships. So in terms of hookup relationships, Chiron may bring up any unresolved emotional baggage that you have over, being scared to attach to others, scared to commit, that you have carried over from past experiences, asking you to reevaluate the nature of your casual connections, looking at if these casual encounters, if you do, if you are involved in them, really fulfill your deeper needs, or are they simply distractions from you doing your deep emotional work? Because sometimes this is what we do, we distract ourselves, whether it be with too much binge watching TV shows, videos, podcasts and or stuff, or hookups or watching porn, whatever it is, taking drugs, using alcohol. Sometimes we use these things to distract ourselves from our deep emotional pain, and it is not easy to confront our wounds. I know that from experience, but ultimately I have found that it's better to start healing and do the lifelong work of doing so, even though sometimes we feel like we're on up there at 10, and then other times we can be up there at 1, but eventually we'll find that kind of balance, even it out on 5 and 5 on each side, and be able to love and nurture ourselves and accept ourselves and forgive our past with peace and serenity, which is what Chiron wants us to do. So in terms of hookups, be honest, be self-aware, ask yourself what you are doing hookups, and make sure you're always engaging them in healthy ways, and that are actually fulfilling your true desires and values. And if they're not, then maybe you need to think about leaving any existing hookups and making sure that the relationships you involve yourself in are really aligning with your authentic needs. So yeah, in terms of career growth, Chiron can hit the pause button on it and ask us to reflect on our professional goals, and it's inviting us to throw out any limiting beliefs or self-sabotaging patterns that may be holding you back from getting the job that you want, going out there and finding your path to success. Chiron wants us to look towards finding unconventional paths towards success. So instead of thinking, I need to get the 9 to 5, and 9 to 5 can be important, don't get me wrong, and maybe taking up a side hustle and slowly building yourself yourself up, having a 3 to 5 year plan, taking those small daily steps. Sometimes you may only have 5 minutes to do the things that you love, but you should do that daily, because then you're building up the habit. And then some days you may have 20 hours, some days will be slow days, some days will be higher days, but I say never have 0 days, because when I fall back into doing nothing, then it just brings more stress and anxiety, and it's hard to build back up that momentum again. So just try and think about what you really want out of life in terms of your career, and try and work through any old wounds that stop you from embracing new opportunities for growth. While some people around you, some of you may decide to stay in your comfort zone and stick to the tried and trusted, Chiron in retrograde actually wants us to be bold and explore alternative routes that align us with our, highest authentic selves and our true desires. So yeah, Chiron retrograde in Pisces takes up the stagnant energy in our careers, asking us to question tradition and conforming and embrace change. And yeah, as we let go of past hurts and our limiting beliefs and self-destructive behaviours, and for some of you, toxic relationships that can interfere with your career growth and stuff like that, you create a space for new opportunities to enter your life. And, as you face those inner demons head on and acknowledge them and release, the hold that they have over you. Although it can be scary to, go within and look at your shadow, as you learn to understand and accept your shadow traits and your darker emotions and stuff, you open yourself up to, your true self. And how can anyone else love the whole of you? Because a lot of us, we want someone to totally accept us if we don't totally accept us. So as you do this, you may discover new directions or passions that align more with your heart and your truth, and you may be scared to follow this truth because we tell ourselves, I'm too old to do this, or it's going to take 20 years to do this, and I may not even achieve what I want if I go and get that degree or learn this new thing as well. So it's about getting out of your own way and getting out of your own head and just going for it and going against what we are told to be and being who you truly want to be. Just remember, as you tap into your intuition and creativity and dare to turn away from the beaten path, you can open yourself up to the new and at your best. Start to hear the whispers of your soul as it's willing you towards new opportunities that resonates deeply with your authentic passions and values. So the key themes of Chiron in retrograde is letting go, being authentic, as you've heard me say many times, whether that's through your hookups, your career. It's about finding what stops you, whether it's people, feelings, your job, your own mindset that stops you from being who you truly are. Not with the insight or the intention, that's the word, with the intention of blaming others for everything that's gone wrong in your life. You mustn't do that, but into starting to take accountability for what you allow in your life, especially the thoughts and actions that you allow yourself to do. So embracing Chiron retrograde allows you to break free from old patterns and to learn to trust yourself, take bold steps into the unknown to you, and being open to the growth that awaits on the other side, as well as giving yourself permission to explore new possibilities. And by doing so, you open yourself up to a world of unlimited potential and pave the way for success that is more in alignment with, you guessed it, your authentic purpose. So yeah, as you allow yourself to explore, your intuition can become your guiding light, directing you towards the right path for you and allowing you to unleash and listen to your inner voice, creativity and your highest intentions. So yeah, in the terms of educational development, spiritual and personal growth, again, Chiron calls for us to heal any wounds that we got in terms of, our ability to learn new things, to be more spiritual, get more in touch with our spiritual side, psychological side, and to, grow as individuals. Because sometimes we think, well, I'm too old now, I never can change, I'm never going to change, so I'm just going to stay the same sort of thing. So this transit invites us to, look at the ways that we can actually change and become the best us that we really want to be. And also in terms of education, it wants wants us to question traditional educational structures and seek out alternative methods. So this can be self-learning. We're told, we must get ourselves sometimes in thousands of pounds of debt, which I think, no, actually, if you want to be a medical doctor and stuff like that, I believe you need training, same with being a psychologist or psychiatrist, and engineering and stuff that are technical and things to do with science and stuff, and healthcare. We need proper training, but sometimes we don't need to take these £1,000, hundreds of £1,000 sometimes degrees to do the things we need to do. We can read some books, we can go online, we can listen to podcasts, we can go out and have life experience, and we can think about the careers that we want to do, because sometimes we're told that you have to do things a particular way. And yes, so some things, like I said, to be a doctor, I do believe it is best to go through to the traditional means there, but sometimes we have to look to unconventional ways. Some of you may want to do unconventional subjects, thinking more like quantum physics, or learning about different healing methods, as I said in the introduction, and stuff like that as well. So thinking about seeking knowledge outside of formal institutions and taking more responsibility for your lifelong learning as well. Chiron Retrograde also wants us to take a more holistic approach to our education, one that encompasses not just the intellectual but also the emotional and spiritual growth as well. So it wants us to go down that road of self-discovery and sometimes ask ourselves, what do we actually want to learn? Because sometimes when we go to school and stuff, by the end of it, we're tired because not all of us want to learn maths and numbers and stuff, and we do need to learn how to do taxes, and maths come in handy and stuff. That's not what I'm saying, but sometimes we get so turned off by learning because we are forced to learn in particular ways. So Chiron here wants us to delve into the depths of our subconscious mind, uncovering hidden beliefs and traumas that may be holding us back from starting up learning again, and to heal and transform these wounds and allowing ourselves to grow spiritually and personally, as well as have more empathy for yourself and others while you are learning. Sometimes some people may learn something in like 5 minutes and it may take you 5 years. This doesn't mean that you're more silly or anything like that. It just means that we all learn in different ways. It's about finishing. It's not about how you get there. It's about taking the slow, steady steps, enjoying the journey whilst you get into your destination, and showing yourself kindness and understanding as you navigate your educational and personal and spiritual development paths. Remembering that educating ourselves is more than just gaining knowledge, but it's a means of personal growth and healing as well. And by exploring these wounds that lie within, those scars from the past that have helped shape our educational and spiritual journeys, learning to see what they are so we can understand them, manage and heal them. So in summary, Chiron Retrograde wants us to go within and heal, or continue the work to heal any traumas that we've got in relation to our committed relationships, why we avoid them, why we may be people pleasing or depending too much on others. Also on our hookup relationships, are they really what we want, or are we only engaging in them because people don't want to commit? Not everyone, but are you only engaging with them because you're scared of commitment as well? And also look at any wounds you've got that stop you from healing yourself on the spiritual, personal and educational and career levels, and confronting any emotional baggage, fears and limiting beliefs you have can help you, ultimately live a more fulfilling and authentic life. So yeah, that was my take on what Chiron Retrograde in Pisces means from the 23rd of July 2023 right up until the 27th of December. So we've got a good 4 months and some change to really go within and to start or continue the work of healing ourselves. So thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.